We're watching Screen Junkies News from San Diego Comic-Con. Presented by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network.
Guys, we're here live in San Diego, breaking down all the Comic-Con news. Warner Brothers had their panel, and so much news broke out of it. And this, I have to be honest, this was my favorite part of it. This was the Ready Trailer 1 portion. They brought out Steven Spielberg, and they finally gave us a taste of this film. Now, Dan Murrell, you've read the book.
I have, as a big fan of the book.
Mark Andreyko and DJ Woolridge are here as well. You guys have not read the book.
No, sir.
See, now I think they did it. The only disservice I will say to them was I don't think they really. So I don't think the room fully understood how cool and how amazing this movie is going to be.
Right. I think if you haven't read the book, it looks kind of like nostalgia, the movie.
Yes.
And the story itself is so kind of interwoven so flawlessly into the story itself. The idea of like this is a futuristic hologram-based virtual world, and basically all that stuff is like DLC that you buy to upgrade your abilities, and they take advantage of that. The guy that invented it was like a pop culture.
Yeah. Do we have this? Show me the picture of the stacks is what they call it. There's this the motorhomes on top of each other. It's just such an amazing visual. That's always been the cover of the book. It's sort of the world we're in. It's 2044, this dystopian future, and it's an energy crisis, and basically everyone's earning their credits to go inside the Oasis. Which is this virtual reality. There we go. That's
I love that. That's Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah. So this is the future 2049, and it's like everyone's just trying to earn money to get online because life sucks, or you're either working and you're rich or you're not, and so they all live in the Oasis, which is the virtual reality world, and in the Oasis you can be anything. So you can literally become, and our hero Wade Watts is like sort of this kid who's in there, and he I forget the characters he plays, but you can ride the Millennial Falcon. You can have Batman. You can you can go to Naboo. Like anything you want to do, they do it, and the movie actually has all these rights.
Can I ask you who've read the book a question? Can you, if you get killed in the VR world, do you get killed in the real world?
You basically
certain
what happens,
areas.
Yeah, it's kind of like in Warcraft and all these RPGs where you have all your armor and stuff, and if you get killed, you lose it all.
Yes.
And that's basically the thing. You have to put all this money into it and to get all these upgrades, but if you die, then that all goes away.
But being killed in the VR world won't physically injure you.
Physically.
No, well, it gets complicated. So the main story, basically it's like the Matrix meets Willy Wonka.
Interesting.
And so the way it works
I
is,
wish they had said that at the panel.
Yeah, they didn't. That's why I'm so bummed, because this movie is really good. It's a book by Ernie Klein, which you haven't read it. You should definitely go read it. Everyone's going to start talking about this thing. But he is in this Oasis, and James Holliday is sort of the creator of the Oasis, this technology that everyone wants.
Steve Jobs,
He's the Steve Jobs, but he's owned it. And so he's dead, and his fortune is now up for grabs. And he's hidden Easter eggs inside the Oasis. So basically, whoever finds the Easter eggs will then inherit the fortune of everything. And so obviously, there's a million hackers and professional gamers who are all trying to do it. But we meet Wade Watts, our hero, who is not. He's a poor kid who just is obsessed with this and obsessed with pop culture and reading Holliday's books of what he was into. And there's a whole scene where he has to reenact war games, like toe to toe. Like it's just like this amazing, like sort of growing up nostalgia feel of like all these things that he's learning about and studying.
Do we know who's playing the guy?
Ty Sheridan.
This is my only bone of contention with this movie, which is that in the book, the thing that I love the most is that Wade was this kind of pudgy, acne-ridden teenager, and when he was in the Oasis, he was like this Hollywood leading man, and that was kind of his avatar. And they do the thing. The only thing that I didn't like in this trailer is they do the thing where they cast the good-looking Hollywood teen, but he's wearing glasses, so he's totally not attractive.
It's like the girl with she's wearing a ponytail.
They put some makeup around his eyes. I agree.
Yeah, I wish that they had. I know that it would be so confusing for audiences that they cast two actors in that role, one inside the Oasis and one outside. But
who's playing the Willy Wonka?
So Mark Rylance.
Really? I wish they had showed us that.
Simon Pegg is also in there.
I'm liking this stuff more.
Simon Pegg is like the Steve Wozniak of it all.
Welcome. This is Dan and Andy explain Ready Player One.
But I feel like people need to explain
the panel.
So this is why it's exciting, because the movie was filled with pop culture references, as they were alluding to in the panel. But then Ernie Klein, even himself, and Zach Penn, who wrote the story here, he also did Last Action Hero. It's sort of similar idea. And no one thought they could do this book because it's filled with so many references and so many things that you love.
The licensing and the legality of this must be could fill up the convention center.
And so everyone's like, nah, enter Spielberg. And it's like, if there's anyone who can get permission, and they said it, like, what we wanted, Steven would ask, and he'd get it. And it's like, so Iron Giant showing up. I was just, because I was sitting in this panel watching this, and it was like one true geek out moment for me as I'm like, because the audience didn't really seem to understand like how cool this is going to be. And then even in the footage, it's sort of, they didn't explain it, it goes by so fast, but like Batman's riding a Scorpion, it seems like. We have Harley Quinn in there. We have all these.
Deathstroke
back there, or Deadpool. Probably not Deadpool because they can't get the rights. Who knows?
It is Steven Spielberg.
It is Spielberg.
To be fair.
But there were so many things. We had Tron cycles. We had the
DeLorean.
I mean,
The Akira motorcycle.
Yes. So it's just like this really, the fact that they're going to, and it seems like they're not going to do it gratuitously. Like, it's going to be a movie filled with Easter eggs, since it's a movie about finding the Easter eggs. And they're doing some amazing new visuals. When I read this book, I was like, how are they going to pull this off?
Yeah.
And I got so excited. I'm so glad that Spielberg seems to be engaged really fully in this. And
well, even he said at the
energy.
panel, he said, we're not going to show you much because we still have a ton to finish.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to show you stuff that's animatics or stuff. He said, trust me, when you see it, it'll be great, but we can't show you a lot because a lot of it's still being finished.
Well, as a gentleman who read the book,
Yes.
were you surprised to see how, because I just knew it was a live action adaptation of the book, I was surprised to see how much of the movie looks like it's going to be completely CG.
Yeah, I mean, it is. You're inside a CG world, so it's always been curious. Like, how do you? I was always, how are you going to show the count? Because he plays. His name is Parvasal is our character name.
Yeah.
And it is a little bit of a love story. He falls for this other gamer, Artemis.
Yeah.
And so and you can sort of talk to each other like you can in the game, and so you hear each other, but you don't know who you're actually talking to. And so they're working on this adventure together.
Yeah.
And you're but they don't actually meet in reality. They're only playing in their mobile homes.
Right.
In this game. So it's this really, while it's going to have all these fun nostalgia things that I think people are going to get so surprised and excited by, there is like a really fun, strong story of this like adventure that the kid has to go on, and these puzzles he has to crack, and there are some twists and turns that I'm not going to spoil, but it's a good story too.
But the story didn't really set up this Percival. This is H, which is another character that's in the book, and we'll see how they play into the movie. And like I think this trailer, I really did lean heavily into the pop culture nostalgia action element.
But I feel like
which
they didn't go too crazy. It
didn't go too crazy, but yeah, but they knew kind of, I think, how to generate buzz, particularly the people that didn't watch it. That was Freddy Krueger, by the way. I think that was my favorite person that was incorporated. But I think this was their idea of like if a lot of people are like, but what's the movie? I think this trailer is much more of an introduction to the world of the movie, and then I think as we go further, we're going to start learning more about this is what the movie is actually about. But
yes, but mark my words, I think people, and it's coming out in this March, or was it next March?
2018, yeah.
Yeah, that's just coming up quick. So I think people are going to start getting excited for this. But those like orcs you're seeing shooting stuff, those are characters who are playing in the Oasis, and that's their avatars. And so it's imagine Avatar, but like with any pop culture IP you want.
Yeah. So it's basically like the Lego movie on steroids.
Like
exactly.
Or Comic-Con VR.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, that's it. And I'm glad they released the trailer. They did show a little bit more of the trailer. I remember seeing some more. There were some Terminators and things shooting. There was more action that they showed, and more outside the Oasis, because this is like the real world, I'm imagining, based on the book.
And then these are their,
and these are like this is the people who sort of control the world. And that while everyone else is sort of getting in their oasis.
Well, it's certainly nice to have Steven Spielberg come back after his dalliances in like real world, great, Lincoln and stuff like that. Come back to embracing what made him Steven Spielberg.
Oh, this one is one of those ones that could just and then you're gonna have a moment where like you're gonna be chasing, he's gonna jump in a DeLorean and go out, and you're gonna love it because he knows he's in a DeLorean. It's not like they're just trying to be kitschy. Like it's like these are things we love. This is what I would jump if I had to run an escape. I'd want to go in that car.
And I'm curious to know how much they're gonna, because in the book it is an expansive universe. It's like you're not just on a world. There are planets, and it's like this is Planet Back to the Future. I have $10,000, so I built Planet Back to the Future or whatever. So I'm curious to see how expansive it's going to be because you travel between all these different worlds. They all have different themes, and it'll be interesting to see how broad they take this.
Do people in this world become addicted to the VR?
Oh yes, they're all going broke and bankrupt,
and they know that
in the credits.
This is actually part of the plot. Is basically, if you find all these Easter eggs, you control the Oasis. You can make it whatever you want to be. This Steve Jobs guy that Mark Rylance is playing, has basically said, this is free. Everyone has access to it. You can just pay to have more. And so there's these multinational corporations that have teams
are vying
of people
to win the competition.
So it's metaphoric for what's going on with like net neutrality.
Will the everyday guy actually compete against all the corporations who are buying the best gamers in the world to find the? It's a very fun adventure, and I've always dreamed, could this work? And I think after seeing this and seeing Spielberg's passion for it and talking about it, fans should get excited. I hope you're excited. Tell us in the comments below what you thought. What was your favorite Easter egg? And are you going to go read the book? I assure you, you'll have a good time if you go read the book if you're a Screen Junkie. We will be back breaking down the DC slate next. Stay tuned.
This episode was presented by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network.